This is the Asbury Park Convention Hall in Asbury Park, New Jersey, a boardwalk arena looking straight out over the Atlantic Ocean. I see a lot of beauty in this place. It has that Jersey Shore mix of old architecture, salt air, summer crowds, history, and just enough decay around the edges to make it feel alive. I'm Alex, and in today's video, episode 5, I'm counting down my personal top 10 wrestling moments that happened inside the Asbury Park Convention Hall. As usual, I'll start with some history. The venue is part of the Convention Hall and Paramount Theater complex. Warren and Wetmore, the New York firm connected to Grand Central Terminal, designed the complex, and it was built around 1930. It was meant to help Asbury Park hold its place as one of the major resort towns on the northern Jersey Shore. During World War II, the complex was used for Army and Navy training. The WWF ran Convention Hall during the late 70s and into the early 90s. Then ECW came in and gave the building its modern wrestling identity. Living Dangerously 1998 and 1999 both happened here, and those two shows carry most of this episode. Now, onto the list. Starting us off at number 10, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn vs. Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin from an NXT live event, February 19, 2016. NXT gives the Hall a modern WWE connection with Finn Balor and Sami Zayn teaming against Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin. Balor was the NXT champion, Zayn was one of the brand's most emotional anchors, Joe was settling into his killer role, and Corbin was the kind of heel those crowds love to hate. Balor and Zayn won, which sent the crowd home with two fan favorites standing tall inside an old boardwalk building that had already seen decades of wrestling. 9. Velveteen Dream vs. Matt Riddle vs. Adam Cole for the NXT North American Championship, NXT live event from May 19, 2019. Dream retained in a triple threat match. This pick is complicated in hindsight because of Patrick Clark, and I'm not using the match here to excuse the person. I included it because the lineup says a lot about that version of NXT. Cole was heating up, Riddle still felt fresh, and the North American title looked like one of the coolest belts in wrestling. It still does, by the way. Number 8. Super Crazy vs. Tajiri from ECW Living Dangerously 1999. Super Crazy and Tajiri opened Living Dangerously 1999 and gave the show a jolt right away. Super Crazy pinned Tajiri in just under 10 minutes, but the match moved like it had somewhere else to be. Tajiri brought the kicks, timing, and weird menace. Crazy brought the dives and quick changes of direction. ECW is remembered for blood, weapons, and broken furniture, but this match is a reminder that the company could also open a pay-per-view with two guys simply going out there and working. Number 7. Rob Van Dam vs. Cold Scorpio from ECW Living Dangerously 1998. RVD beat Cold Scorpio at the first Living Dangerously in a match that ran more than 20 minutes. Scorpio had been ahead of the curve for years, and RVD was turning into the whole effing show in real time. There was also a pointless Sabu run-in that was part of this match too. This one catches Van Dam before the Jerry Lynn rivalry fully defined his TV title run. It also gives Asbury Park something beyond the headline chaos. Two athletic wrestlers getting room to show why they stood out in the 90s. Number 6. The Undertaker vs. Kamala and Mr. Fuji from a WWF live event on July 1st, 1992. I've quickly learned something about my new channel here. Not every arena is going to have a solid top 10 moments to pick from. So hell, for number 6, let's go with this one. I'm stepping away from ECW and going back to a WWF house show from the summer of 92. The images here are from Survivor Series 92 due to an obvious lack of footage from back then, but The Undertaker defeated Kamala and Mr. Fuji in a handicap match after Kamala and Harvey Whippleman left ringside, which left Fuji alone to take the tombstone. It's a strange little snapshot from the SummerSlam 92 season, when Undertaker and Kamala were circling each other on the road before their bigger TV matches. It also proves that Convention Hall's wrestling history is not just two ECW pay-per-views. The Dead Man came through the boardwalk too. We're into the top 5 now, and at number 5, Al Snow returns as Lance Storm's mystery partner from ECW Living Dangerously 98. The main event here of ECW Living Dangerously 98 had Lance Storm teaming with a mystery partner against Shane Douglas and Chris Candido. Although he came to the ring with Sunny, teasing her as the other half of his team, Storm would end up being turned on by Sunny as she would align with the triple threat of Candido and Douglas. Now on his own, Storm would get some backup from Al Snow, who was the real mystery partner, and just a few months shy of returning to the WWF full-time. Amidst the dozens of foam heads that had been tossed into the ring, Snow and Storm won this bout. Snow threw Douglas into the hole in the ring, more on that later, dragged him back out, and hit the snowplow for the win, and pinned the ECW champion. Number 4. New Jack dives from the balcony onto Mr. Mustafa, ECW Living Dangerously 1999. New Jack and Mustafa brought the gangsta's violence into Asbury Park at Living Dangerously 99. Jack fought Mustafa around the building, taped him to a table, climbed to the balcony, and dove down onto him. Security dragged both men back to the ring, and New Jack got the pin. The match itself was terrible, as you would have expected it would be. The dive isn't on this list because it was pretty. It's here because the room had become part of the match, and the balcony gave ECW one of its defining Asbury Park images. Number 3. Rob Van Dam vs. Jerry Lynn for the ECW World TV title from ECW Living Dangerously 99. RVD defended the ECW World TV title against Jerry Lynn in the best pure wrestling match on this list. They reached the 20-minute time limit without a winner, and the referee was ready to award the title to Lynn. Lynn asked for 5 more minutes from the referee because he wanted to beat Van Dam clean. That choice cost him. RVD survived the restart, finished Lynn off with the 5-star frog splash, and the rivalry got sharper because Jerry Lynn proved he could push Van Dam right to the edge. At number 2, Taz defeats Sabu for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship and the FTW Championship from ECW Living Dangerously 99. Taz and Sabu closed the show here with the ECW World Heavyweight Championship and the unofficial FTW title tied together. Taz created that FTW title when he felt he was being denied his rightful shot, so Sabu carried it into this match and made the whole thing feel personal. The match had suplexes, table spots, Sabu refusing to quit, and Bill Alfonso throwing in the towel before Sabu tossed it away. Taz finally choked him out with his Taz Mission Kata Hajime, retained the ECW title, and folded the FTW title back into his world. My number 1 moment from the Asbury Park Convention Hall is Bam Bigelow beating Taz at Living Dangerously 98. Taz came in as the ECW TV champion, and Bam came in billed from Asbury Park, so the match already had the hometown hook. Late in the match, Taz locked in the Taz Mission, but Bigelow fought towards the corner and both men crashed through the ring, falling backwards. Bigelow crawled out of the hole, covered Taz, and won the ECW TV title. The title change was big, but the visual here was bigger. It's an iconic moment from ECW, where a hometown monster won a championship in his billed hometown while the ring gave out underneath him. So that does it for the list today. That's my top 10 list of wrestling moments in Asbury Park Convention Hall history. As always, share your memories about the hall down in the comments. On the next episode, we're heading to Chi-Town to cover Credit Union 1 Arena, formerly known as the UIC Pavilion. Thanks for the house.